Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Neuro-Nurture Podcast. We're the place where we talk about the real, messy, and honestly beautiful work of raising neurodivergent kids. I'm Jasmine.
And I'm Maya, and we are so glad you're here today because this episode, wow, we have been getting messages about this topic nonstop.
It fills our inbox, it fills our DMs. I mean, the number of parents who have sent us some version of, my child's school just isn't listening to me, or they don't get it. It is a lot, and it's heartbreaking.
It is. And listen, we get it. We've been there. The school system it's a universe unto itself. There's jargon, there are acronyms, IEP, 504, FAPE, LRE. Like, what does it all even mean?
Right, it's alphabet soup. And then there are the meetings, these meetings that feel like you're walking into a courtroom and nobody handed you the rulebook. It's so intimidating.
Totally. You're sitting at a table with like 7 educators who all have master's degrees, and you're just a parent trying to advocate for your kid. It's a power imbalance from the start.
Exactly. So today we are breaking it all down. IEPs, 504 plans, what the difference actually is, how to walk into those meetings with confidence, and what to do when the school is pushing back. No fluff, real talk. Let's just get into it. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning, because I know there are parents listening right now who have heard these words, IEP, 504, and they're just nodding along, hoping nobody asks them to explain it.
Oh my gosh, no shame. I was that parent. For a solid year, I was just nodding. I thought I knew, but I didn't really know,
Totally, me too. So let's just lay it out clearly. Both an IEP and a 504 are legal documents. That's the first thing. They guarantee your child gets support in school, but they work differently and they come from different laws. Okay, so let's start with the 504. A 504 plan is under the
Rehabilitation Act. It basically says this child has a disability that affects a major life activity like learning, concentrating, communicating.
Major life activity.
Right. And because of that, the school must make reasonable accommodations for them. It's all about access.
So accommodations, that's the key word here. Think things like extended time on tests, preferential seating so they're not distracted, the ability to take movement breaks.
Or getting instructions given in written as well as verbally, or even using fidget tools. The school isn't providing extra services. It's just like leveling the playing field so your kid can access the curriculum like everyone else.
That's a great way to put it, leveling the playing field.
And a 504 is honestly usually easier to get. If your child has a diagnosis like ADHD, anxiety, dyslexia, and it's affecting their ability to learn, they likely qualify.
And the process to get one usually starts with a written request. You just write a letter to the school principal or the 504 coordinator saying you'd like your child to be evaluated for a 504 plan. You'll want to include your child's diagnosis and how it's impacting their learning. And that's a key point. The threshold for a 504 is broader. The law defines a disability as a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more major life activities. That can include things beyond academics, like social interaction, emotional regulation, or even things like breathing or eating if there are allergies or physical conditions at play. Okay, so that's the 504. Now, an IEP, which stands for Individualized Education Program, that's a much bigger document. It's under a different law, which is IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act.
Right. And an IEP means your child qualifies for special education services. And we have to pause here because that phrase, special education, it is so loaded.
It really is. It's not the old school way people picture it, being sent to a room down the hall all day. It's not that anymore.
Exactly. People hear special education and they have this image in their head that just doesn't match reality at all. Special ed services can mean a resource room for reading help for 30 minutes a day. It can mean a co-teacher in the classroom or getting speech therapy or occupational therapy. It's a whole wide range of services.
And the other huge difference is that an IEP has goals written into it, like actual measurable goals. By the end of the year, this child will be able to do X, and the school is legally required to provide the services and track the data to work toward those goals. That's the accountability piece. It is. So, which one does your kid need? Here's the simple way I think about it. If your child mainly needs the playing field leveled with accommodations, it's probably a 504. If they need actual specialized instruction or therapeutic services to make progress, it's an IEP. Perfect summary. And here is the most important part, and I want everyone listening to absorb this. Yes, both are legal rights, not gifts, not favors. Rights. That matters because sometimes schools can make you feel like they're doing you a huge favor by giving your kid support. And they are not. This is the law. It's your child's civil right to get an appropriate education, period. Okay, so you've requested a meeting, or maybe the school has called one. You've got that date on the calendar. What do you do before you even walk in that door? Because the prep work is everything. It's 90%
of the battle, truly. First, you bring documentation, all of it. Your child's diagnosis paperwork, any evaluations, any reports from outside providers like therapists or pediatricians. Schools respond to paperwork. Data is their language.
That's so true. They speak data. Second, and this is big, maybe the biggest thing, write down your own observations as a parent before the meeting. Don't just go in with a feeling. Go in with your own data.
Yes, what are you seeing at home? What does homework time look like? Is it a 2-hour battle every night?
Right. What does the morning routine look like? Is your child having a meltdown every single day before school? What does your child say about school? Write down direct quotes if you can. I'm dumb. Everyone gets it but me.
Because you are the expert on your child. I need to repeat that. You are the expert. The school sees them for 7 hours a day in a structured environment where they might be masking. You see them before, after, on weekends, when they're dysregulated, when they're thriving. That data matters.
It's the whole picture. Third, and this gives you confidence, just look up the basics of what your child is entitled to. Google IDEA and your state. Google Section 504 basics. You do not have to be a lawyer, but knowing your fundamental rights means you can't be talked over as easily.
Okay, so now you're prepped. You walk into the room. Let's do some rapid-fire tips for surviving and thriving in that meeting.
Okay, tip 1. You are allowed to bring someone with you. A friend, a partner, a formal advocate. Someone who can take notes while you're talking or just be a supportive presence. Someone who can help you stay calm if things get tense.
Do not go alone if you can help it. It's a game changer. Okay, tip 2. Ask questions. Don't just sit there and receive information. If they say, we don't think he needs that, you say, what data are you using to support that conclusion?
Yes, or if they write a goal, ask, what does that goal look like in practice? Or how will this be measured? Or what happens if she doesn't meet that benchmark? Get curious.
Tip 3, and this is a big one. You do not have to sign anything in the meeting, ever. You can take the document home, review it, and sign later. Schools sometimes create pressure to sign on the spot. Don't.
You have time. Take it home. Read it when you're not under pressure. Okay, tip 4. If something feels off, if a goal feels too low, if an accommodation feels insufficient, say so, out loud, in the room.
That's so hard to do.
It's the hardest, but you can practice a phrase, something like, thank you for that. I don't feel like this fully addresses what we're seeing at home. Can we revisit this section?
And remember, schools have a script. They have phrases they use. Let's try this for 6 weeks and see is a common one. That's often a delay tactic. It's okay to say, we have data showing this isn't working. What other options can we discuss?
Those are all such crucial tips for what to do in the room. But the work isn't over when you walk out the door. The follow-up is just as important.
You know, I want to talk about emotional regulation in the meeting for a second. Our emotional regulation, because these meetings can be really, really charged.
Yes, of course they are. You're talking about your baby, your child, and you might be sitting across from people who feel clinical and distant, and you're just trying to hold it together. Here's what I tell myself going in. I am not there
To be liked. I am there to get my child what they need. And being calm and firm is more effective than being emotional, even though the emotion is completely valid.
completely. And if you do get emotional, that's okay too. You're human. Just take a breath, take a sip of water, and come back to your notes. It's not a performance.
Okay, but what about when the school just says no? When they push back and say, we don't think your child qualifies, or the classic, we feel like they're doing fine.
The doing fine line. Okay, so first, if you disagree with the school's evaluation of your child, you can request an independent educational evaluation, or an IEE, at public expense.
At public expense, that's key.
Yes, that means the district pays for an outside expert who is not employed by them to assess your child. It's a powerful right that not a lot of parents know about.
Second, everything needs to be in writing. Everything. If you have a conversation in the hallway with a teacher, follow up with a quick email. Hi, just confirming what we discussed at pickup today. You said X. The paper trail is everything.
Everything. Third, and this is another lifeline, there are parent advocate and parent training centers in every single state, and they are free. You do not have to go into battle alone. These people know the laws inside and out, and they will often sit in that room with you.
And as a last resort, you can file a state complaint or request mediation or a due process hearing. Schools know this is on the table, and sometimes just the fact that the parent knows their rights is enough to change the dynamic in the room.
It really is. I want to get real for a second, because we can talk strategy all day, and strategy matters, but nobody really talks about how emotionally exhausting this process is.
Oh gosh, it is a second job. It's a second job you didn't apply for and nobody's paying you for it, and it's the most important job you'll ever have.
It is. You're fighting for your kid to be seen, and sometimes the very people who are supposed to be helping them are the ones making you feel like you're being too much, or you're that parent.
I've been in meetings where I walked out and cried in my car for 20 minutes before I could even trust myself to drive home, just sobbing, feeling like I'd failed.
And that doesn't mean you failed. It means you care. It means you showed up anyway. Showing up is the victory, some days.
One thing I just have to say for any parent who has a child who is struggling and the school is saying they're fine, trust your gut. You know your child.
Yes, fine in school can mean masking. It can mean white-knuckling through the entire day and then completely falling apart into a puddle of tears and rage the second they get home. The school sees one version of your kid. You see the full picture.
And if the school isn't listening, escalate. Go up the chain. Contact the special education director. Contact the district. You have every right to do that.
And hear this, you are not being difficult. You are doing your job.
Can you say that again?
You are not being difficult. You are doing your job. Before we get to our quick tips, I think we should talk about some of the common myths that parents hear about this process. The misinformation out there is a real problem.
Okay, let's shift gears. Quick tips around. One thing each of us swears by, that one little piece of advice that has been a total lifesaver. Maya, you go first.
Okay, mine is so practical, but it works. I keep a binder, an actual physical 3-ring binder. Every evaluation, every IEP draft, every important email, every meeting note, it goes in there organized by date.
The binder. I love this for you because I know that binder has come through in meetings.
Oh, it has saved me twice. Twice I have pulled out a document they said they couldn't find or didn't have a record of, and suddenly things moved very quickly. Information gets lost, emails get buried, the binder doesn't lie.
Okay, that's a great one. My tip is use the phrase, can you put that in writing? Liberally. Use it with love, use it kindly, but use it. If a teacher tells you something verbally that you need to hold them to, just ask for it in writing. That's great to hear. Thanks so much. Can you just pop that in an email to me so I don't forget?
That is gold. That is genuinely gold. People's behavior changes when they know something is documented.
It really does. And my last one would be find your village, honestly. Find other parents who are going through this.
Yes, Facebook groups, local support groups, even Reddit communities. The parents who have been in those rooms before you have information that no article can give you. They get it.
Community is everything in this journey. You don't have to figure this out alone. You really, really don't.
All right, that is a wrap on episode 3 of the Neuro-Nurture Podcast. Wow, that was a lot, but so important. Thank you so much for spending this time with us.
Seriously. And if this episode helped you, please, please share it with another parent who needs it or a teacher. Send it to someone who is in the thick of this.
And if you have a second, leave us a review or a rating and subscribe so you never miss an episode. All of that genuinely helps us reach more families, and that's the whole reason we do this.
It really is. You can find us on all the socials. Our handles are in the show notes. Slide into our DMs, ask us questions, tell us what topics you want us to cover next. We read everything.
So let's recap the biggest takeaways from today. First, know the difference. 504 is for accommodations, leveling the playing field. IEP is for specialized services and instruction. Both are legal rights.
Right. Second, prepare for that meeting. Bring your data, your observations, and a friend. You are the expert on your child.
And third, and maybe most importantly, trust your gut. If the school says fine, but your gut says no, listen to your gut. You are not being difficult. You are being a good parent.
Coming up next episode, we're talking about something that's really tender topic. We're talking about what to do when your child starts to realize they're different.
Oh, that's a big one.
It is. That moment when they come home and say, why is reading so easy for them? Or why am I like this? We're getting into it. How to have that conversation, how to build their self-esteem. It's going to be a good one.
So important, so needed. Okay, until then, keep nurturing those incredible, brilliant, neuro-spicy kiddos. And yourselves. Please nurture yourselves. Take a breath. You matter too. We'll see you next time.